So team, yesterday we learned so many things, no? So we learned like how to find null values, how to fill null values, right? Then what did we learn? Must be here, no?
Cleaning up the
Yeah.
datas.
So duplicate also we learned. So null and duplicate we did, right? And how will you fill null? So if it is like a string, you will fill the missing value with mode, and if it is a numeric value, you will be filling it with mean or median. Okay. So many have not joined. Okay. So what we will do is now I am taking some special characters. Okay. So these things will come in your data set. So at the rate, percentage, something is there. Okay. Dash something. Now I'm saving this. Save. It's not allowed. Fine. So basically it is same data set, but we'll do some more operation here today. Something is there. Okay. I'm modifying it. I'm adding some special characters. In the beginning also you can do, in the last also. So this kind of things will come in our data set. Okay. So what we need to do, let me start. First we'll see the data set, how it looks. So I'm starting I'm creating a new notebook. And give me a minute. You can bring it down. No, that is fine. Okay, so first step will be import. We have to import pandas as PD. Then next will be like I'll be loading data set. So this is my data frame, and its name is wrongdata.csv. So let me save it once. So pd dot read csv, and then you will give a file name. And now read it. Now display. df. Run it. So you can see maybe let me hide it. Okay. So you can see now the data set is very nasty. So there are nulls, duplicates. Okay. Now we got special characters as well. Okay. So we already learned how to tackle null. Right? Today we will be doing how to read this, how to remove these special characters and all. Okay. So let me add couple of rows here. So how to remove the special characters from a column. So how do we do? There are many ways, but I will go with what I do as usual. Okay. So I'm just checking the um, syntax alone. Okay. So for this, I will go to my Miro board first. It's very important, and many times you will see this in your dataset. Okay. So today's main is remove special characters. Character from data frame or Excel sheet. So for this, like we have a replace method in Python. So basically, special characters are like, let me first tell you what are special characters. So something tilde, eh, this, then not equal, at the rate, has, eh, dollar, percent, cap, ampersands, stars, this brackets, these brackets, these are special characters. Okay. So apart from, eh, except A to Z, small, capital A to Z, at space, then tab. What else we can give? Yes. So anything is except A to Z, capital A to Z, tab, and 0 to 9. Others are treated as special characters. So it is very important that we know how to remove them from a name column or from an address column. Okay. So for that, suppose my name column here, if you just copy name from here, right? Just see here. Uh, things are very nasty now. Right? So it looks Kedar is having has, Nisil is having at the rate has this much. This. So this can be tackled using regular expression. Okay. How will we remove? We'll remove using regular expression. It's very easy. Uh, we need to see, suppose the column name is name, right? Column name is name, and these are values. So let me write the syntax first, then we'll do. So df of name, right? It's a column name. Right? From here you are removing something. Right? So we'll again write df of name means from name column. Right? Now we are going to remove these special characters. Right? These special characters are part of string. So you'll be giving dot str, then dot replace. So replace pattern. Syntax is like that. Pattern with, in the square bracket you give the pattern, okay? And with what value you want to replace, right? It will be new value. So in our case, new value, and then write regular expression. So in short, we can write regex equal to true. So this is the syntax. Yeah. So I will come to our solution. So basically, in what will be our pattern? We want, so we want to retain A to Z. So in the bracket, in this bracket, you will write I want A to Z. Then you also want A to Z. Write together. System will identify. Okay? I want 0 to 9, right? And I want the space and tab is needed. Those things we can tackle later. So I want slash s. This slash s means this forward slash s means it is for uh, any space. It is either you can have a space or tab or new line character also. Okay, this will tackle everything. So basically, now the question comes, right? I want only these many things, right? So in this pattern, right, I'll be writing I need A to Z small. I need capital A to Z because name can have small and capital later. Right? Suppose you don't want 0 to 9, so don't write 0 to 9. But name will have like first name and last name and space will be there. So I will also need space. Right? So only these things are there. So now, so write until here df.name dot star dot replace. And now replace is a function and this is a pattern, right? So pattern you close. Right? Now I want to replace this value with null, right? With nothing. So I'm giving this, right? And I'll tell you I have made a mistake, okay? Intentionally. So suppose name column is having Kedar and has at the rate. Okay? So if you're reading df.name.str.replace, okay? So basically you are asking system that wherever A to Z is there, wherever A to Z is there, wherever slash s is there, replace with this, right? So now the Kedar is having A, right? So A to Z is there. So KEDR will be replaced with null. Right? Then at the rate will stay there. And this hash will stay there. And this is at the rate. So this will stay there. So our logic is the other way around, right? So what we should do, we should tell, right, that I need these things, but this logic is removing these, right? So we'll say if it is not, right? When you put not A to Z, this, right, means anything apart from A to Z and space will be replaced with this. Then in second case, right, whenever you are taking this, right, in this case your output will be, so we want A to Z, A to Z and S should not be replaced with this. Okay. So what will happen? Right? Now name is having Kedar. So K will remain, E will remain, D will remain, A will remain, every. Right? Now, not this. Right? Now, hash is not between A to Z, A to Z. So hash is not part of this. So this hash will be taken out. And this at the rate will be taken out. So you will get Kedar as output. Got it?
Got
Hello.
it. Yeah, got it, bro.
Got it, right?
Uh,
So it's very easy. Okay. So let us code. Right now, where is my file? Give me a minute. I'll close this. What is the date today? 26th, right?
yeah.
So now this name column has these many bad things, these many special characters. Many special characters are there. So now let us tackle it. So we'll write df of column name equal to, then from column name only you will remove those special characters. Right? Name dot str dot, this is a function. So now here you will give your pattern, right? And here something, right? New, what you want with, right? And here you will give regular expression, regular will be capital. Okay? So this is my syntax. I'm just commenting it. I'll take. Okay. Now I'll do the actual coding. So what we want small a to z and capital A to Z. Letters and all we don't want, right? Or there may be a Kedar 1, 2, 3 will be coming. Some username or something else. So let us have 0 to 9 also. And then I want slashes. So apart from this, okay, if something comes, so I will have to give not. Okay, not. Then with what you are going to replace? So special characters will be replaced with space or null, none. Okay. And then here regex equal to true. Okay. Run it. This only. So treat it as planar. Let me do that. I'll explain that also. One moment, guys. Think my bandwidth is slow. Let me stop video. Okay. So quotes is missing. This will come under quotes. Okay. Otherwise, it is treating it as a special character only. Few syntax errors. So, the correct version is this. Let us compare. I was missing this. Yeah. Now this should work.
True spelling.
Yeah. This is true. Then we'll print df. Everything got removed. This has not been removed. So tilde is not taken as special character.
No, I think that not is taken as what?
It's correct only.
You can't do everything, and I mean everything. You have your emotions.
One moment, I'm just thinking. So mostly they say that tilde will not come. Let me ask. Why? Tilde, right? Your regulation should remove it is telling. So same, right? All together. should remove. Okay, now it's removed. What was the problem? I don't see any problem. So only this one was given by this one, right? Let me test it again. So save it. So far I am doing in the buffer only. Okay? So what I will do is I will just execute everything, comment this, run it. So all the commands will run together. So now it is special characters, everything. Okay. Name, str replace. Only this was missing in mice. No df. Okay, so it actually does. I don't know it to do. It did not do in the initial. So you guys got it right? How to do one liner. Okay. Str dot replace and the pattern R I am taking because it says R meaning the meaning of R here. You have applied R here. So syntax is like this. Okay? Then A to Z, A to Z, and I've taken. So basically in any programming language, this forward slash sh, right? It is escape character. Right? So it will give you a space. Forward slash n will take you to new line. But here, right, along with replace method, if you are giving R in front of this, just give R in front of this, then what it will treat, right? So these are without R. Without R. Okay. So with R, when R is present, this one, right, then this slash will be treated as two separate characters, slash and n. Okay. This slash s will be treated as slash and n. So this is basically R is basically for what do you call plain text, okay, not a code. This R stands for plain text. Okay, clear? Maithili, are you on the call?
Yes, Kedar.
Okay, so this is how we manage regular expressions. So there is a
Yes.
replace function
Yeah.
and give the pattern. If you don't want the pattern, have like not, okay, and replace that with null values. Okay, with nothing. This means nothing, and keep regular expression equal to true. It will do in one line. This is very famous interview question, guys.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hmm?
One question.
Yeah.
So at times when we have a special characters in an email
And
column,
then you will not execute this command for email column.
yeah.
Otherwise, it will remove.
Mm,
This is just for like other columns, right?
yeah.
In email, you want to retain it. So your command will be the other way around, opposite. If @ is not there, then you will treat that as invalid.
Hmm.
So I'm just giving you each and everything okay, for data cleanup. Any doubt so far?
No, bro. Good.
And who had a doubt yesterday for suppose I have given here in the age or something, right? I have given 40 here. Right?
Kedar, before moving this, I have one question. So
Here
column
it is 38.
hello,
So how
Kedar.
can we change them into numbers? Now it is not possible, right?
Bro,
So there are
bro,
two
I
ways
think
to do it.
Maitri has. Bro, hello.
Hmm?
Yeah,
I
I
think
have a question, Kedar. So
Hmm.
instead of column wise, can we implement this command, the data frame wise?
You can do, but it will give you wrong results.
So every time we have to go with the series only.
Yeah, series only. That's the reason we also read series. Right?
Okay.
Because we don't know how will you validate now? That's a problem. Column wise validation is fine because your data set will be very big.
Okay.
So do not generalize this. Okay?
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Kedar.
No problem. So now if you look at if I run DF again, right? Again. So we will be getting here in age column 35 is coming. So I need to execute everything. We need to load it. Right? So now age column got 35, 40, 38. So there are two things we can do. Maybe create a dictionary. Okay. There are two ways. I will give you the normal way and I will give you the generalized way also. Right? How to convert a string in to corresponding number value. Like if all are there, 35 is there. So this 30 change to 35. This 40 will be changed to 40 and 38 will be changed to 38. So what we can do is we can create a mapping. Okay? So I'll tell you why we want. So we want to create a dictionary. So dictionary is a name value pair colon value. Right? It is 35. Okay? This 40 comma will be converted into 40 and 38 will be converted into 8. Okay, so now mapping has been defined. Right? Now, where is that age column? Right? I will go and put df of age.
So we have to have the mapping set, else.
No. Lima, wait. This is very big topic, so I'll complete.
Okay.
First learn both the methods, because most of the time, few values will be missing. For that, I have a generalized solution. Okay? So kindly be on call for some time. Let's see.
Okay. Sure, bro.
So in age, there is a replace column, replace function. Okay? Replace, you don't need to do anything, just give this mapping. Okay? So far we have 35, 38, 48. Let us run it. If it compiles, it will print your df. You will see. Oh, it didn't open. df.age 35. changed. First 35 got changed. One bit. 40 is not happening. 30. $35 happened, and this should also work. This mapping df. One moment. I hate asking AI. Can someone try? Other two.
Is STR missing?
No, STR is not required. It says
Okay.
your code is correct.
Okay.
Data frame do not exactly match the keys in your dictionary. Okay. Maybe I didn't save it. So once you save, you have to reload the data. Okay? This is fine. I don't want this here. So now 35 also didn't work. Thirty-five only happened. Is there any trailing braces or something? Oh, okay. Same thing I gave. 40.
Not capital F, right?
Yeah, space is there.
Yeah.
Some spaces are there. 38 is. So this method fails sometimes. Some space is there, it didn't work. Now everything happened. So we have not truncated leading and trailing braces here. Spaces. Okay. Right. Now suppose I have 28 here. And suppose this is 303. This value can be anything. If you're a bigger data set, it will be for anything. Okay? Now I'm saving it. Okay. I'll be again executing the code. Okay. So that new data will be picked up. Okay. Okay. Now run it and execute it. Okay. Now many got updated, but these 28, 30, 303, these things are not possible, right? So yeah. Which one?
28. That is. Okay.
Let it come.
Yeah. Spelling mistake is.
Let it come. I'm going to implement a generic solution.
Okay.
So now here you can't keep on updating. Suppose there is 1 lakh records and many are missing, right? So what we have to do is, right? 1 minute. Right? We have to generic solution. Going to give generic solution. There is a library called word to number. Okay. We will use word to number. So I'll be using word to number library. So for this, word to number has to be installed. So let me write the code. We'll face some problem, then we'll install. If it is already there, no need. From word to number, import w. You will be writing. In word to number library, I am importing word to n. This will have many methods. Okay. Then we have
Bro, import spelling IM, right? IMPORT. INPORT is like word to number.
import pandas as PD. Yeah. Anyway, panda is already imported.
Okay.
Now I will be defining a method. Okay. Def convert. Right now I'm converting age. You can use it as a generalize also, and it will take one argument. Then we need to return what should we return? So from word to number, it's not there. Word to number is not there in our case. Word to number, import, return w2n dot. The function name is word underscore num. Okay. Passing taking one parameter. Okay. I pass str of the entire string will be passed here. Okay. Only this much has to be done. Okay. Now df of age. Wherever you want to apply this, just write age is equal to dot apply. Okay. Calling this. Let us execute it. It is telling there is no module named word to number. So I have to install it in my Jupyter notebook or in our working environment. This is not there. So I'll ask ChatGPT to give me a command to import. You guys should also do this. Okay. So this is the command to import it. We can import here. Now let us run this. Now at least that error is not coming. No valid number words found. Please enter a valid number word. 2,020,000. One moment. I'm passing this, right? Age.
Do we need to pass the variable in that convert underscore age, Kedaji, the method name?
Because it takes one argument. Convert underscore age. But what will I pass? Age.
Usually self will pass, right? Self comma something. No.
No. No valid words found. So try catch here. Give me a minute, guys. Catch I can read. Not catch, accept it. Yeah, accept. X. Let us run it. One moment. Because I'm already passing one argument, df.s. Did it work? Yeah. So now everything got modified. No need to pass because I have, see, it will take one argument, right? But in Python, one argument can be coming from here also. So df.age is giving one argument. And this apply function will only take the function name. Okay. Clear? So now you don't need to give this convert age. What you can do, generalize this convert, right? Name should be convert. Okay. And suppose in some other column also, here you are writing 90,000. $900. Okay. Now save it. I'm just commenting this so that it will not get executed. Okay. And run everything. So see here, now the data frame has changed. It got changed. Now what will I do? I'll execute this. So I was doing it for age. Run it for age. Then df. So in age, everything got changed. But in salary column is still 90,999 is there. So what we will do next, df of salary. Okay. Equal to df of salary dot, there is apply function. Apply, and whatever method you have written, convert. Just give the name and run it and df it. So it got changed. How and many of you have followed? And how many are still not able to do? Not able to understand?
I'm not able to understand either. It's
You are not able to understand.
yes, yeah.
Okay. So let me do. So this is the code. I have not done much. Okay. So let's assume my age column is there, right?
Okay.
Some values are 30. Then in place of 35, they have written 35. Then 40. Then instead of 45, they have written like this. 45. But our intention is like we have to have in age only numeric values. So 30 is fine. So 30 will be there. Now 35 is there. It is a string. An age column cannot have a string, right? Because you cannot find the mean, median, mode there. So what you will do, you will change it into 35
45.
and then 45. Right? So we tried hard coding it using dictionary. That portion you understood, right?
Yes, yeah.
But that hard coding, in how many places you will hard code? If there are like 5 lakhs record, right? We can't drag, drop, we can't see, visualize, right? We cannot create that much big
Correct.
dictionary, right? So for that, right? Like Panda doesn't have any suitable method. Okay, but there is a library. There is a library called. What are we doing? We are changing word to number, right? It's very easy to remember also. So there is a library called word. For simplicity, they have written word to number together. Now, this word to number library is not part of Python. It is not part of Panda also. Okay. So we have to install this library. For that, what I did, pip install
Pandas.
install word to number. This one I did, right?
Oh.
So command is like this. So it will install word to number and it will keep in your working directory. This much is fine.
Yes, Kedar. So
Okay.
it is this word to number is also like NumPy Pandas.
Yeah, yes. It is
Right.
a library.
Okay, library. Yeah.
Right? So clear now?
Yes.
Now word to number is a library, and inside this there is a sub library that is called as W2N, word to number. Or you can also say, can I write import word to number as W2N? 1 minute, Madhu. Then it will be easier. In place of this, right? Can I write import word to number as W2N and run. If it works, we should be good. I'm going to change this again. So where will I change? Okay, I'm just saving it. So everything will be string. Now I'm commenting this so that nothing gets updated. Okay. Since I've changed Excel sheet, I have to run everything. Let it run. It will take a minute. Now you can see in age column, strings are there. In salary column, strings are there. Right? Now I have written import word to number as W to N. Like we import. I'm importing the word to N and writing. So I'm just trying to understand whether this command also works. I have never tried it. Okay. So now I'm running it against age. So it ran. Do it. So it did not do. We can import, but it is not working. See here, 28, 30, they have not changed into numbers. So in order to import this number, right, we have to have like from word to number, import W to N. Okay, because it has like some complex what do you call way inside library.
Okay.
Then if I run this one, this will work. Now coming to your question. So far here you understood, right? Import part. See, imports can be written in two ways. If only entire panda you're importing, then you will write import pandas as PD, right? But here I am not importing everything, right? Here also from panda, you can write from panda import series, something like that, right? So there is a library called word to number. From there, I want to import W to N. W to N is also a library. Or this could be a class, you can say. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now comes like how will we convert? See, I can directly write it here rather than creating convert X. What will I write? No, we cannot do. So how can I explain now? Okay. Let me erase it. Now there is no way to hard code things and all. So what I have done is I have created a function. Okay. So I have created a function here, and function starts with def, right? Def, give any name. So I'm giving it convert. So in order to take convert, right, it has to take one parameter X. So this X is nothing but column name. So you'll be passing entire column name. From there, it will return. From every column, it will be returning. Right?
Okay, Kedar. Yeah.
It will return W to N dot. There is a function called this one, word to number.
Okay.
Word to number. And it will automatically, so it's formatted like this. Suppose you're passing column, right? From there, it will form the string. So it is str and whatever value you are passing, column, strx. Okay? So it will be returning word to number strx. Okay? So everything will be stored here. Like entire row will be stored here. Okay? Entire column values like 34, 35, 36, right? And from there, it will extract, I mean, it will change all the words to number. So if you return 35, so it will return 35. Then it will move to next record. Okay? That's the reason it is written like that. Okay? But this throws exception. Okay? This always throws exception. That's the reason I have written it inside try, and then I have given except.
Kedar, if there is any mistakes, like you wrote like 20 instead of 20, TWNTY. So in that case also it will convert.
Yeah, it will convert. It is very intelligent.
Oh, okay.
It is very intelligent.
Wow. So
So
some
it
people write
does, yeah,
lakh
it does,
instead
yeah,
of
it does
1 lakh.
it does semantic search. It doesn't do keyword search.
Okay.
Then in order to now see, I have created this convert method, right? Then we have to apply it. So whatever column you're taking, right? In that column you apply, and apply only with name. Don't apply with parameter, because parameter I'm passing from here. I told you guys, right? In Python, things are different, right? Suppose if you are writing advanced Python programs, and suppose there is a function called XYZ, or let's assume some XYZ function is there. It takes one argument A. So in main method, you can pass some object dot XYZ. This also works. I think in OOPS we saw it. Does anyone remember? So it's a very basic function I have written. I'm not returning anything. Okay, I'm just returning what from this module, from WTN class. I'm returning word to numbers. Okay, and since whatever you are passing, that pass that in the form of str. So every column values will be coming here, right? And from there, the row which is having 35, 36, 37 will be converted into numbers. This is just do 1 or 2 times practice, it will be done. Okay.
Sure, Kedar.
Okay. So I know these things are little tricky and big, but I think I was able to make you understand.
Yeah, I'm clear now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
able to understand.
So please, the 2 things which I taught you today, that special character and this numbers, right? Please right? Do it. Okay, practice it. Maybe yesterday I couldn't record the videos. It recorded, couldn't convert into YouTube. Today I will do. But today's class is more important rather than yesterday's. Okay. Is there anyone who did not understand and wants any explanation? Team,
Clear, Ketanji.
clear, right? Little advanced topic, but this is very actually useful, this method. Okay? So remember this, that you have to write a method of this, and you have to bring word to number module. From that module, right? Import WTN. So you'll be writing from module import WTN. Module name is word to number. Okay? Then you are giving a convert function which will return word to module dot word to number, okay? In underscore, and whatever value is passing, that will be going in a string format. Okay. And this always throws exception. That's the reason we have to have it try and accept. Okay. Clear? Right. So far what we did, we have cleaned everything, and now data frame is looking like this, right? But we are not updating in our existing data frame. So now whatever cleanup you have done, right? After cleanup, update your data sheet, means CSV file. So otherwise you will be losing. It is there in our program only. Right? So what we can do? Df dot there is a function to CSV and pass some name. So in general, what I do is I do not touch the original copy. I create another file. Like suppose this is wrong data. So I'll be writing like this. Wrong data underscore cleaned. And I also provide index equal to 0 or index equal to false. I don't want index. See here index is coming. These are of no use. So we will be removing them, index equal to false. Okay. So if you go there in users, you will see new file created, wrong data cleaned. Why unnamed is coming? I wanted unnamed. Just a minute. It got created index equal to false. Spelling correct, right? It created another. Give me a minute, guys. Follow. So while you code, right, you will be taking a lot of help from the internet. It should not create unnamed column. Yeah. Okay, this is telling command is correct. I'll figure out what is happening. But you guys know, right? Now, data cleaning steps, what and what we did. Now, there are certain things I want to explain as well. Okay. So wrong data clean, I don't want that. Here only. Or let us load clean data. This is cleaned. Right? Now I am writing here Kedar Prajapati. Okay. Nisil. What is your last name, Nisil? Nisil. Kumar, something like that. Now I'm changing, giving some Maheshwari. Okay. Now Rahul, I'm changing it small. Right? Rahul Kumar, something like that. Rahul Kumar. Now names are not consistent. These names are not consistent. So we need to bring it into consistent. So we have saved here. What I will do, I'll create a couple of columns. Okay, once I saved, so it is giving error. Okay. Now in data frame, I'm loading new file. Yeah. Read CSV. I'll be loading the new file. Cleaned one. And then print it. You'll see that Kedar is K, Prajapati is P, right? Nisil Kumar, something. So either you can do now this cleanup, name cleanup. Maybe we can replace in lowercase, uppercase. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay. What we do? Apply is there. In which column we have to do? Kedar Prajapati is there. Suppose I want to change them into lowercase. So I have to take df of name. Equal to df of name dot str dot to not to give lower. So everything will get converted into lower. Then read the data frame. So name got changed into lowercase. Same thing will happen with upper. Instead of lower, you give upper. So now run df. All the names got converted into capital letter. But you want let us let us do everything in lower. Okay. And there is a function called title as well. So column name dot str, column name is name. It will only change strs. Okay. And then it is title. So what it does now, do df. So this is very important. So your name should be in capital letter, means first letter and second letter. First letter and second. So title will only convert first letter of each word in capital. Okay. So what I'm saying is, suppose my name column is like this. Inside name, you have written something. Kedar Prajapati. But your new value should look like this is also K, small k, okay? You want K should be capital, everything should be small. Kedar, then this will be capital. So what you have to do, that column name dot str dot, you will write title. So this title will convert each word in capital and then lower. The next word will convert it capital, then everything will be lower. So this kind of manipulation we have to do. So far clear, guys? Hello.
Yes, Kedar.
So now I will go for, so kind of we have completed. Only one thing is there is a salary, right? Salary is 95,000. This also we have to do. So far we have not done this. Okay. Basics of EDA. This is the last one where we'll do the outlier detection. And negative also we have to manage. So I am going for, please mute, some noise is coming. This is very important, and it is calculated on formula, outlier. First of all, we should know what is outlier. So outlier is a value which is either very big, either it is very big or very small from normal values. So suppose someone's salary is 10 lakh, someone's is 20 lakh, right? 30 lakh. So this is my data set, right, in salary column. So if you look at our salary, see here, the salary is like 9 lakh, 8 lakh, 6 lakhs null. But this guy is a 95 lakhs. So this is very, very huge. and this is minus 10,000. So we can convert it into positive, no problem. Okay. But this 95,000, how will you figure it out? Okay. Either you will keep it here or you will do something. So we need to have one mechanism. Okay. So in this chapter, right, all the topics are important, but interview mostly, if you attend like 10 interviews, right, 7 or 8 times you will get like how will you detect outliers. Second question is how will you remove special characters? How will you remove them, right? And the third very important thing was like how will you change letters to numbers? These three things we covered today. Okay. So, outlier detection I'm going to explain now. Okay. So got it right? What is outliers? Outlier is a value which is very big or very small from normal value.
Yes.
Maybe because of this, right, average salary of each person will increase. Suppose someone is getting 10 lakh, right, 11 lakh, 12 lakh, 13 lakh, and 14 lakh. Right? So average salary will be how much? 10, 50, totally 50. So average will be 50 by 5. So 10 lakh is coming. Right? But if you're in your data set, right, if it is like 10 lakh, 11 lakh, 12 lakh, 13 lakh, 14 lakh, and some guy is getting 90 lakh. So total is how much? 150 divided by 6. It is 25 lakhs. So everyone's salary became 2.5. This guy is getting 25 lakhs average. It's very wrong. So if you create a machine learning model in this type of outlier, it will not give you the correct thing, because where this data is used, right? Suppose there is a company, or if you're like going to like XYZ college, and each child is getting 10, 11, 12 lakhs placements, right? So if you're asking that, okay, if like tomorrow, Maithili is joining some college, so her minimum package will be 25 lakhs. But during exam, I mean, during placements, she might be giving like 12 lakhs or something. So her expectation is not meet. So our machine learning model is failing here. Okay, so it is very important that we find outliers from our data set. There is no method, no functionality to find outliers. We have to find by ourselves. Okay. So there is a method called, I don't know, I have the notes. Give me a minute, please. Outlier detect. Okay. So there is an IQR method. Okay. This thing I thought I will do in front of you only. IQR method. So inter quartile range. We only know how to do it. Okay. I did not know what is the meaning of it. So So in the interview, you have to tell that we have to use interquartile method. Okay. Let change your data into 25%, 30%, 50%. Then you will figure it out. So we have to use interquartile method. Okay. So I'll give you the steps and we'll do a coding also. So in order to find outlier, we have to use IQR method. Okay. So let's assume my data set is salary. So my data set is salary now. Next column is salary. Here only 10, 11, 12, 13 and 95 lakhs is there. So this is the outlier. Now I need to figure out how many such outliers are there. So first step, right? First step is find Q1, quartile 1 or quadrant 1. So maybe we know now this one that a circle has 4 quadrants, right? This is first quadrant, this is second, this is third, and this is fourth. So we need to find first quadrant and third quadrant. Okay. I just built my logic. I might be wrong actually. This is how I was learning when I was doing this because self-study was there. So I will take this column, salary column, Q1 equal to data frame of salary. So salary column will be there. Okay. Dot. There is a method called quantile or something. Give me a minute. So I'm writing Q1 equal to TF of salary. Salary dot quantile. Okay. In this function, just passed value 0.25 means 25% I'm taking. So this is if the whole thing is 100%, this portion will be 25%. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So if you find 25% and if you find 75%, this 75% minus 25% will become 50%. So this is 50%, right? Yeah. So we are giving Q1 now. This is a standard formula. This applies everywhere in data science. So I'm telling in an easier way so that you'll understand this diagram. Quantile and type 25%. 25% is nothing but 25 by 100. If you change it, it will become 0.25. Clear? So I'm directly writing here 0.25 because this computer does not understand this and this. So this is my Q1. Now I need to find Q3. Q3 will be again From salary only you are finding 75%. Salary dot same method, quantile. Now it is 75%. 75% is nothing but 75 by 100. This will be given as 0.75. So you are passing 0.75 here. Now, what is IQR? Interquartile range. So this minus this, Q3 minus Q1 is known as IQR. Okay. No need to remember what is IQR. Just you can have some value also. This is just a variable. This is Q3 minus Q1. Okay. Now we need to find upper limit and lower limit for this. For that, we have a formula. Okay. Lower. See, you found 25%. Okay. So anything less than 25% will be lower limit. Right? You got 75%. Right? Anything above 75% will be upper limit. Right? But what will be anything that will have a formula here? So Q1 is nothing but 25%. Right? So lower limit will be Q1 minus. Right? We have to go below Q1. Then 1.5 into this IQR. This is a standard formula. We should not change. Okay. So data scientists have done so much research, and they figured out your limit, lower limit will be Q1 minus 1.5 into IQR, and your upper limit will be your Q3 plus 1.5 into IQR. Only this much. Right? And if, right? How will you find? Now you got upper limit, lower limit. Now we will check that value is in this range only, then it will be this. So you will be checking this. DF of salary. I'll write it later. Wait a minute. If your DF of salary is less than lower, or DF of salary is greater than upward, right? Then that value is outlier. Okay. How many of you didn't understand? Tell me. Okay. The other way around. How many of you understood?
Yeah, I
Anytime-
understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Anytime if you want to recall this, just remember that we have a percentile, right? But in data science, it is a quantile method. Draw a square and draw a, what is this, circle, divide it into 4 parts. This portion is first quadrant. So this will become Q1, 25%. This is third quadrant. This will become Q3. calculate Q1 and Q3, and IQR will be Q3 minus Q1. Lower limit will be Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. Upper limit is Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Okay. If your salary is lesser than lower limit, it is outlier. If your salary is greater than upper limit, it is outlier. In between, we can consider.
Okay, the one question is this works for the negative salaries also something.
No, negative salary cannot be negative. Right?
Somewhere extra minus 9000 something. No.
Correct.
Okay.
So we have to tackle it. We have to modify it. If
That's
salary, you will be doing a df.salary, right?
okay.
Is less than 0, then convert it with the mean or mark it as 0.
Okay.
So someone's salary cannot be negative or 0. So maybe we can
So we
modify
can
it with,
actually remove that negative and then make it as the same number. We cannot do that. Only we have to take median,
yeah,
or else we have to make it as 0.
correct.
Okay, got it. The last line I couldn't understand. What is the output will be? IQ, I understood lower level able to identify,
Okay.
upper
So
level identify. The
if
last,
95,000, we'll print it, then we'll understand Mathli.
yeah, okay, sure, got it.
Let us go and print it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm going here.
Thank
So
you.
Q1 we did. This is a code for outlier detector. Yeah, Q1 is this much. Q3 this much. $75. Now I'll take IQR equal to Q3 minus Q1. Now we'll do lower. Lower is equal to, it will be lower, right? Whatever Q1 came, lower than Q1. Q1 minus 1.5 into Q1. Let us print lower. How much is coming now? Lower limit is coming as
Okay, the lower equal to Q1 minus 1.5 into 1 IQR, right?
yes. That's the reason it's wrong coming.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mrs.
IQR.
So lower limit is 25,000, 27,500. Yeah. Let's print it. Then type upper. Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Print. Upper is something like that. Here also print. So lower is coming 27,000 and upper is coming 12 lakhs. 1,27,000. So now, which one is outlier? Let us find. DF of condition. How can we write? df of salary is less than lower. 1 minute. So I'll keep on printing. So 1 is true. Which is true? This negative. Because it is lesser than that. So this is also outlier. For time being, salary cannot be negative. Once you handle negative as positive. So right now it is giving that this row number 9 is having one outlier. Because it is lesser than lower limit. Right? We can also type if df.salary is greater than upper. So now row number 7 is coming. Row number 7 is what? 95,000, right? So if you want to print them or you want to combine these both, then give a or symbol here and put everything. Now run it. Tuple. Tuple. Here will be one bracket. It is taking it as tuple. Here will be one bracket. Okay. So you got 7 and 9th as outlier. Okay. Clear? But I want to see the entire value, right? I don't want 7th and 9th. So what we'll do, we will be doing applying df here. The entire data frame will be displayed where these values are true. So see here. Now John has 95 lakhs and this guy has 10,000. So these are two outliers. Now what you will do, you can do anything, right? Maybe change these outliers with median, right? So now let me calculate median. Median of salary. Got it so far, Mathli, how it works?
Okay, then so the last the DF salary lower and upper, we just identified that rows. Am I
Yes.
correct? Yeah, okay.
Yes. So we identified and here we are printing.
Printing it, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But code you guys understood or not?
Yes, yeah.
It's very simple. And this code maybe 2-3 days you practice. Once you go for exam, right? This will definitely come.
Okay, yeah.
And no need to mug up. Okay. Create that triangle and that circle which I explained. And exam
Wonderful.
also you explain like that. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Now I just want to calculate median of salary. Median salary will be df of salary. Or median. Now, how will we modify? I cannot directly substitute everywhere, no? Some condition we have to write. What? What was the command yesterday? We
Fill.
which one? No, fill, but
No.
now fill NA is not there, no?
But you need to replace that, right? The department salary, the value.
Yeah. But what is the command? Fill NA will not come because
Okay, it is not blank.
it's not blank. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me ask. Will it tell? It's calculate, detect, bounce, everything. I don't know what it is doing. In my company, we simply remove it. Okay. So, but here I don't want you guys to remove because that will be useful information. Because for me, recommendation systems are coming, right? So if Netflix subscription is coming as 1 lakh, I used to remove it. No one will pay 1 lakh rupees for 1 month. So that is type of. Suppose we have 95 lakh and minus 10,000. Cell column. I know by using Outliers. It's Outliers. So take fill it with. I don't want to discard these rows. What is my code? My code is this. This is what interviewers are doing in EDA. Replace with median. Okay, LOC. I'll explain this next class, okay? So right now, both will go with median salary. Telling is, so you calculated median, right? It is telling at DA dot salary is upper, then have this salary and replace it with median salary. Yes, LOC I have to take class. I thought it is not useful, but it's coming. So basically, wherever salary is more than upper, so that is outlier. We are replacing with it median and wherever salary is less than lower, we are replacing it with medium salary. So this 95,000 and 10,000 will be replaced. Okay. Now print here. And again, print this. Now you will not find any. Because 95,000 got replaced now. Nothing is there. So there is no outlier. We have handled it. Okay. LOC and their axis and all, I'll take next class, guys. Okay. But how to find outliers is clear.
Yes, Kedar.
Okay. So we are about to complete Panda. There is like 3-4. I think I need one more class. So what is remaining is like this. Next class will be IOC. IOC or LOC? No, I need LOC, then iLoc. These are for column. These are for rows. Then second thing I need is like, I think group by we covered, right?
Yes, last
Class. Okay.
classes was group by.
So that is also very important. Now I need to, suppose we have 2 Excel sheets, right? Or 2 data frames. So like in SQL, we do joins. The join is remaining. This is also very important because you have to analyze data from one sheet to another sheet. Okay. So here will be like full join, left outer join. Full join is there. Then left join. Then right join. Then okay. And third one is pivot tables. Pivot table and some miscellaneous are there. So that will be done in a project. So maybe I need 2 classes. Then Panda will be done, and then we will be doing our what do you call Matplotlib. Matplotlib 2 classes, and then we'll be moving to machine learning. Okay? So how many of you are excited now to learn machine learning? See, machine learning I can teach in 1 week or 2 weeks, but these things are very important, okay? Because here and there you'll be doing these commands and you will say, okay, why I'm not learning. Okay. So since we learned now Python, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, then if you go and apply those knowledge there, it will be very, very easy. Okay. So I'll stop the recording here.